Hello and welcome back. Today I have a rather large book haul. So here are all the books that I collected in September. So these are in no particular order. So at the beginning of the month I took a trip to Foyles in London. I had never been to Foyles in London before and it was an experience. I felt like I needed to buy something. So I came out with two books. The first was Sealed by Naomi Booth, and I've heard Jean on Bookish Thoughts talk about this before and she has like kind of praised it quite highly. I don't really know what it's about. All I know is that it's some sort of literary horror. I am down for horror. I really love horror books. And the cover is hella creepy. And it's pretty short, so I'm looking forward to reading. Next book I picked up was Dig by A.S. King. So I first came to hear about A.S. King back on the old traditional 2014 YouTube with Ask the Passengers. We Are the Ants. No, not We Are the Ants. Ask the Passengers. And I've always been absolutely desperate to read some A.S. King, and this kind of was like a post-apocalyptic creepy virus story. I think it's like a dystopian one. Again, I know very little about it. The cover really drew me in. I'm really into post-apocalyptic dystopian creepy stuff. So this is super good and I'm super excited to read it, and I was in Foyles, so I thought, you know what, why the heck not? So the next book I picked up was a sequel to A Court of Thorns and Roses. I read that last month. Well, I read it in August and I really enjoyed it and I wanted to carry on with the series, so I picked up A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is kind of like a dark political fae story that follows a young girl who kills a fairy and then she has to go and live in kind of like a fae's castle. It's very much a Beauty and the Beast retelling with kind of fae. I don't really want to get into it anymore because this is a sequel. I really enjoyed the first one. It kind of really took me by surprise, so I'm excited to read this and carry on with the series. I hope to get to this pretty soon. It's a bit of a chunk of a book, but Sarah J. Maas's writing, from what I've experienced, is pretty addicting, so I don't think I'm really going to have much trouble getting into this. So the next book that I picked up was a graphic novel, and it is absolutely perfect for the autumn season. It is Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell, and this edition is signed, well, it's kind of signed, it's got a book plate in it. So it is signed, and you know what? I don't know what this book is about. I don't have a clue, but I absolutely adore Rainbow Rowell. She is one of my favourite authors and I will basically buy anything that she ever releases. And I love graphic novels. This has got like a lumberjane sort of vibe. The artwork looks beautiful. I am so stoked to read this. This has got a Halloween theme. I'm going to save it for kind of like the end of October when I can like cozy up with my witchy candle and my warm drink, and I'm going to absolutely love it. This was kind of one of my most anticipated reads of the year. So amazing. And carrying on with the theme of most anticipated reads of the year, I can't believe that I finally have this book in my hands. I am so excited to have it. And it is The Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell again. This is the Waterstones edition. Look at it. I am just so excited. Look at that as a suit. And are you ready? Are you ready? Look at it naked. Just look at it. How beautiful. This is probably one of the most beautiful editions of a book I've ever owned. I am so excited to read this. I will put, look, hang on, pre-warning, here's a spoiler for some of the exclusive artwork that's in the book. So, look at it. It's got Simon and Baz. I can't wait. So this is the sequel to Rainbow Rowell's Carry On, which the book Carry On was the series that Kath in Fangirl writes fan fiction about. Rainbow Rowell decided that she was gonna create the book that Kath based her fanfiction on, and it is kind of a very, very Harry Potter-esque retelling. It is so gay and I absolutely love this. I just can't wait for this. Can't wait to see these characters again. I love them all. I love the school setting. I am definitely going to try and get to this in October. I've been looking forward to this probably for about over a year. It was definitely one of my most anticipated reads of this year, and I'm so happy to have this edition. So the next book that I have is Ghosts of the Shadow Market, which is like a bind up of kind of short stories by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Rees Brennan, Maureen Jones, Kelly Link and Robin Westerman. This is a bind up just kind of sitting in the Shadowhunter universe. I know very little about this. I'm quite excited to read it. I kind of really love anything set in the Shadowhunter universe. The Shadow Market was kind of a concept that was introduced to us in the story, and I'm really excited to read more about it. I just kind of like keen, and I heard that Tess is in this, Jem is in this from one of her previous series, and I'm excited to see those characters again. And yeah, it's kind of a must. I kind of collect Cassandra Clare books at this point. Even though some of them have kind of let me down in recent years, there has been some kind of really, really good elements in there. So I'm excited to read this. The next book that I picked up was not on a whim, because I have read Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, and basically everybody I know raves about Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. Again, I kind of know very little about this, apart from there's some queer rep in it and everybody absolutely bloody loves it. I loved Heartstopper volumes 1 and 2 by Alice Oseman, and I have been lucky enough to meet Alice Oseman and she is wonderful. So I picked this up and I think I'm gonna love it. I tend to like to go into books completely blind, if I'm being honest. So I am super, super excited to read this. And I've been like reading some really good contemporary, so I'm stoked to read this. So the next book I am very late to the party for. So I started to read this on Scribd and like listen to it on Scribd, and I kind of stopped and I thought, you know what, I really need to read the story and I really need to immerse myself in it and have the time to sit and concentrate and read it. And that is Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. And this is about like a divided society, and it's got like a very kind of interesting magic system with blood, and there's a theological element to it. This is what drew me into the story, was kind of like the theology in the book. I was gonna kind of wait for this book to come out in paperback, and then I was in Waterstones in Birmingham, story of my life, the other day, and I saw this on the shelf and I couldn't not get it. So this is the spine. It's beautiful. And then it's got like, is it deckled edges? It's got deckled edges. And then if I open up the end papers, it's just so beautiful. Oh. So I have already in theory started this book, and I plan to get to it this month or maybe next month. I'm super excited to read it. It's got like a Russian theological historical vibe to it, and if you don't already know, my degree was in history, my second degree was in history and theology. So I am all down for a book that kind of has those elements of history wound into a historical setting. This has kind of received mixed reviews on Goodreads. However, I think it's part of a series, and if I enjoy it, I will definitely be keen to pick up the rest of the books in the series. I think sometimes if you've got a big epic fantasy, the first one is kind of like the touch and go one, and then the series just kind of explodes and gets really good. The next book is a bit of a joke, but not a joke. I actually received 2 copies of this book for my birthday, one from my boyfriend and another one from a family member, and it is Homes for Hamsters. You've probably seen from my vlogs, I have a little hamster, and me and my boyfriend also have a hamster, so not together, like the one hamster lives at my house. And this is a little craft book that tells you loads and loads of crafts you can do with hamsters, and it's all with kind of household materials that you can recycle. And this book is full adorable hamster pictures. And even when you get to the back of the book, this is my favourite bit, spoilers for this book, it tells you little hamster models in the book. Look, a little well, I've already read most of it, but I can't wait to use it on my own hamsters. And the final book I feel like everybody has been talking about. It's been the most hyped book of the year, and this is Testaments by Margaret Atwood. This, as everybody knows, is a sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. It's set so many years after the events of The Handmaid's Tale have happened. I personally wasn't going to read this. I don't know why I bought it. No, I do know why I bought it. I'm excited to read Testaments. I kind of want to know what's happened. This book, I'm excited to read. I kind of want to know what happened because the overall idea of the Gilead Society kind of really interests me. I really love books set in a dystopian future. As many of you have probably seen, the end papers are beautiful. I don't know how soon I'm going to get to this. I just kind of wanted it. The hype sucked me in. Just call me a sucker. So those are all the books that I collected in September. It's a bit of a big, crazy book haul. Yeah. Let me know down below what books you picked up in the month of September. Is there any books that you're really anticipating? There's a couple I know that are yet to be released this year that I'm kind of really anticipating. Ninth House. So I'm super excited to read them. So let me know what you're looking forward to, what you hauled this month. If you hauled anything already in October, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you again soon.